And we're here. We are live. Hooray.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Book Buffet. And I'm going to say that, and I'm going to hit that chat button. All right, hi. Good to see you all. So welcome to Book Buffet. This is the Addison Public Library's Twitch stream. And Book Buffet is where we kind of like pick a theme and then pull books from it and then talk about them books, because libraries, you know?
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. So my name is Courtney. I'm one of the teen librarians at the Addison Public Library, and first timer.
Yeah, my name is Javier, and I work in guest services.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you. I love it. Mostly it's like Rachel and me, and then every so often I can like get somebody else to bring in, and it's always a great time. So you might not know, wonderful viewers, it is National Library Week. Welcome. Join us in our celebratory week. We've got a good amount of stuff going on this week. There's like library-themed activities and like things that you can make in our creative studio, and there's some giveaways, right?
Yes.
So I know that we've got like these sticker packs.
Sticker packs.
That I should have grabbed. I'm obsessed with them.
You know, I should have brought the hat.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was announced yesterday. So yeah, what's being given away at the
crayons for the little ones, and there's also like a notebook. There is like, I think it's called a never-ending pencil. It's like you never have to sharpen it.
It's like a forever pencil or an I have no idea.
Witchcraft.
It's a new. Yeah, that's what I said. It's this metal pencil, which is really wicked cool, and it's some sort of pencil material. But you don't sharpen it. It never runs out.
Mm-hmm.
So they say. It's witchcraft, which is also like. Witchcraft and magic is just science that we don't understand yet. Somebody understands it enough to make it, but it's not me. So
it's everything also not me.
Yeah, no, but it's wicked cool. So yeah, we have those, and then there's the hat that was just announced yesterday.
Yes.
That's a good looking hat too. I liked that hat.
I know. I am tempted to be like, can I get one?
I know. Oh well. Maybe I'll like be like, hey, my brother who lives in this town, come and get me a thing. I might or might not have tried to get him to do that before, but he's kept it. How rude. I know.
Betrayal.
How very rude. Yeah, so there's like different things that you can get. We've got stickers at all of the desks, the like public desks, but then the other fun giveaway things are at the big desk right when you walk in. That's guest services. So, and that's just, you don't need a library card or anything for it.
No, you just need to come to the library and say, hey, I would like my giveaway.
Yeah.
We're like, sure, here you go. Here are the options.
Like, hey, I like libraries. Let me library. So yeah, come do the thing. Get free stuff. Hooray. So we've pulled books that all have something to do with libraries. Either the library is a big part of the story, or it's about libraries, or maybe there's a librarian in it, or maybe, the main character is the librarian technically. We'd be talking about Strange the Dreamer, but we've talked about it a couple times already. I just finished it. It's so good. It's so good. Rachel was so right. It's so good. But yeah, so yeah, why not? Let's get started on it. You want to go first, or shall I go first?
I'll go. I'll go with this one.
Brave soul.
So my first pick was A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik.
Nice. Let's show it up. So tell us about this one.
So this one, the library is in two forms. So the library is actually a very dangerous place to be in, because in this place, you're in the main character is in like an extra dimensional space, but that's sentient, and so you ask for it, and it's like, hey, can I get a spell that will do this? And depending on if it likes you or not, it'll give you a spell that may give you what you want.
Okay.
So it's like if it was like a very temperamental librarian, you're like, hey, is there a book on this? And it's like, yeah, I might give you it. I may not.
I love that. That's pretty fun. Yeah, so it's like a sci-fi fantasy?
Yeah, so there's actually, so it's based on like magic, and you have to study really, really hard, because just by having magic, it makes you very tasty to monsters that want to feed on your magic.
Oh.
And so they essentially send off like kids to live here, I think for like 4 years and say, hey, develop your magic skills, but also you have to be very careful because a wrong corner and there can be like a mimic that will eat you or something.
Oh, nice. So this would also be like a great one for D&D nerdies. Like,
yes.
Which,
and
hello, here I am. But like that sounds so fun.
And in here, knowledge is power.
Yes.
Like you do have to learn like other languages because there are spells that are only in other languages, and then you have like mythology that's also in other languages, and you just need to learn as much as you can.
That's so cool. I like that a lot. Ooh, all right. Well, I have a feeling that my to-read list is going to just be expounding this whole entire time, because even the ones that I've pulled, I was just like, I want to read that. I want to read that too. All right, so I'll talk about The Wild Book, which, look at that cover. Oh, it's so pretty. Is that not so pretty? So this was originally published in Spanish, and it actually has over 1 million copies in Spanish sold, which is really cool. And we have it both in Spanish and English. So this is about Juan, who is 13 years old, and he is sent to go and spend the summer. His parents are separating, and it's very, very disastrous for him, but he is gone to go spend the summer in with his Uncle Tito. And his Uncle Tito, like, lives in his old, weird collection house of a library. And this kid's just like, this is the worst, honestly. Like, I mean, okay, yeah, stories are kind of cool and books are kind of all right, but, like, my uncle just sits here and reads all day and really doesn't want to talk or do anything except drink this weird smelling smoky tea called Lapsang Souchong. Oh, it's in here somewhere. It's wild. Lapsang Souchong. It's a type of tea. I actually have this tea.
Oh.
I do. It is a smoked tea. It smells smoked. It tastes like leather.
Oh, okay.
It's wild.
I was going to say, do you enjoy it?
Not for me,
Okay.
but I have friends who really do love it, which is why I keep it. It tastes like leather. But some people love leather, apparently, so hey. So Juan is kind of like trying to adjust into like living at this house, and it's just like dusty shelves, and it's not a place that a 13-year-old would want to spend his summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, in like a new town, and none of his friends are there, and he's just like, So he's like wandering around, and he finds that the books are like magically responding to him.
Interesting.
So like they'll move, or they'll turn into creatures or things like that. And he's like, Uncle Tito, what is this? And his uncle's like, oh yeah, you are what is called a lector princeps. Which means that books respond magically to you, and he is the only one who is able to find the elusive, never before read wild book. So Juan and his new friend Catalina, because you know you're gonna make friends anyway. So they start looking for the wild book, but they have to find it before the wicked story-stealing pirate book finds it.
So is the book trying to find another book?
So yeah, it's a book like gobbling up other books and their stories. Yeah, and they have to try and intercept and take care of business. So it's a fun like adventurous fantasy. This is focused towards middle school, so middle grade reading. That does not mean that it's not enjoyable for everybody. My mom loves middle grade reading because they're just like delightful. And they certainly can be. There's also some that certainly can't be. But like this one's a good one to go.
You know, it's giving me a flavor of, what's that one? It's like Ink Tongue? I do
Oh,
know.
yes, I know.
Yeah. Is it Ink Tongue?
Inkheart.
Inkheart, there you go.
Yeah.
Inkheart.
That's the trilogy. That's a good one to put out. Yeah, that one is about a girl. She finds out that her father, when he reads aloud, things from the book come into real life, and he accidentally brought the worst villain ever into real life, and that man has been destroying their lives ever since. It's fun. That one's really fun. The movie is wild.
I've not seen the movie. I've only read the book.
Very wild. I think. Oh, it might be Brendan Fraser in that one. I'm not sure actually.
I think you might be right.
Possibles. 1 moment, please, while I just very quickly find out. Yeah, it is.
So you know it's good.
It's good in its own way because he's in it, Like, everything he does, I just love. So, hey. But yeah, this one looks like it's a lot of fun. Inkheart's another really good one. That's a trilogy. I haven't finished the whole trilogy. I read the first and the second one. I never read the third one.
It's been years. I don't remember.
It's an older one now, which is upsetting.
Yeah. But still a good one. Still a good one.
It really is. Yeah, I don't know. You want to talk another one, or I can talk some more?
Here, and then this is the Atlas 6.
Cool.
Show off.
That one's also a pretty cover.
Yes, this is another one where it's a sentient library brought to sentience by magic, and it's part of a secret society of the best of wizards. So in this world, wizards aren't really like hidden. But they're more like if you're able to do it, you can grow to be rich really, really quick.
Straight up.
And so it's also the best of the best, but also kind of the worst of the worst. The characters are both like
conniving and
scheming.
Yeah.
They're the best of the best, and therefore there's a sense of like I am supposed to be here. Why aren't you impressed by me?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, but honestly, they do grow within the series, and there's this whole also thing about like a ritual where like, hey, 6 of you enter, 5 of you will move on, and then that sacrifice will feed the library and make it stronger. And so it's like a not generational, but it's very like it's a magic that will compound upon itself as the society grows.
Cool. Neat.
And so yeah, I would definitely recommend this. Again, the characters, you do have to grow to like them. They're not good people.
Yeah. Sort of like Breaking Bad, I think, kind of has that thing where it's like they're not good people, but there's something about them.
Exactly. I mean, I think the best. One of them could be considered good, but they're all very human.
Got you.
They're all very human.
I kind of like that. It's a little less of like a chosen one-y, Mary Sue-ish type of thing, and more just like people have flaws, and some people are willing to revel in them.
Yeah, and then and they're all like equally matched because like one is like a telepath, so she's very good at like going inside your brain and maybe plucking an idea out or putting an idea in. There is one he's an empath. And that he feels everything, but then you realize, okay, if you can feel everyone's emotion, why are you the worst character?
That means you get to choose to ignore those emotions.
I know.
Ooh, all right, yeah, okay.
And so, yeah, it is an incredible series. I think there's 3 of them.
Okay, yeah.
And I would highly recommend them.
Nice. Yeah, it does look good. Speaking of another series, and this one's quite long, and I think the last book just came out, actually. The Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library, which is also a very fun cover, although they've re-released them with like a far more like cartoony, like sort of Scooby-Doo-ish kind of a cover to them now. If you've seen them, you'll know what I mean. Have you seen them yet?
I probably have.
They're I like this one better, but I was also exposed to this one first. So this is about a boy named Kyle. This is also a middle school read that would be appropriate for middle school, but again, like well-loved across the board. So this is a book about Kyle, who he's got 2 older brothers. One is like a star jock and the other one is a brainiac. And he's like, what can I do? Like I'm competing against that. Like how am I supposed to win? But he loves board games because there's a level of chance and luck and like just a lucky roll of the dice or like a cards. It's equal across the board. And he just seems to have that sort of knack for luck. So he, is at least able to win at board games. So he learns that the world's most famous game designer has designed the town's new library, which sounds phenomenal and just the best way to use your to design your library. Make it so that no one can find anything. Anyway, so there's going to be an invitation-only lock-in, and it's basically like a escape room type of a thing that has been designed by this game maker. And he's like, I have to be there. And he figures out that it's like, oh, it's not that hard to actually get in. But it's real hard to get out. So it's like it's like the Willy Wonka of escape rooms. Like that's what it is. It's like the library is where this all is inside, but it's like a Willy Wonka library of tricks and puzzles and like escapey things. It is not like Saw. let me like looking at that cover. It's not like Saw. It's fun and it's wild and it's charming in its own way too. And like I said, there's a big series of it too. But yeah, it's fun. I'll give it that. It's got that kind of wackiness to it. Yeah, and it's definitely like, this is award winning. I think it's been on lists and everything else. It is not new. But yeah, a lot of people really enjoy this one. I've not read these yet, but it's kind of like on my list of things to read. So
I wonder how the librarians are in there.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm like, is it like, are they just there to give you hints, or are they like just like not there at all?
Or are they just there to just
they're also
like
trapped.
Thoroughly frustrate? Oh my goodness, they would be. They'd just be like, I want to go home. Like, I worked my day. I need lunch and to pet my cat. You know.
Like, the lunchroom keeps moving. I don't know where I am.
Yeah. It's like those stories of like, oh no, the snow like trapped us into the library and we were locked in and now we're stuck here for 3 days because I'm like, we have phones. Like, did you know we had phones? And so if you are ever locked in a library, first, you will be able to walk out the door. Our alarm might sound and the motion detectors will catch you. But you can actually leave.
Yeah. It's locked from outside in, not
outside in, not inside out. Second, there are phones. Everywhere. All over the place. Press 9. Then the phone number. Those stories bother me so much. Anyway. So I've also pulled out some picture books that honestly I just think are so good. And I want to share with these, and then we'll get to some of yours, because then I have these. So first one I want to talk about is Our Incredible Library book. So this was actually, and the wonderful journeys that it took. And this is set, if you are aware of this library, it doesn't say what library it is, but I know what library this is. This is the Children's Department of the Boston Public Library.
Oh.
And I know because I have a friend who works here. Hi, Patty. When this book came out, she's like, it's my library! So this tells the story of a library book, this library book, as it is taken out and checked out by different kiddos. One who has a bath and it gets a little bit of water damage. I think this is the book for your department, honestly. And then this one has all the stories that is being told. They're at the hospital reading the story, and it's just bringing such love and delight. This one, they take it to the park, and it kind of gets a little bit of dirt on there, and it just like keeps going and going. It just gets like nastier and dirtier as it happens. It's really cute. Oh, they went camping, and there's a little bit of marshmallow everywhere. So it's like the love and care and like there's tape. So it's just all of the love of what happens with a library book that belongs not to just one person but to everybody. And all the little dings and bangs and just repair and just trying to keep this lovely thing together. It's all done because of all the people who have loved it and who have shared the love for it. So it's really cute.
I really like that sentiment.
I know, I love it too. So there's that one. There is also Abuela's Library. So this is a story about this little boy and his abuela who check out books and they read it under this big tree. But then the electric company comes and tells them that unfortunately we have to cut down the tree. It's actually sick up here. You can't see it, but the branches are dying up there and it can fall over and it can hurt somebody, so they have to cut it down. So they're devastated because this was their favorite tree, and Abuela used to be a librarian and she just misses it. So the little boy comes up with an idea. let's build our library. Let's build a little library in the stump of the tree. So the whole community kind of comes together, they plan it, they start working on it, they build this little library, and then there we go. We have a little library that everyone shares about, and the little boy finds that his favorite thing to do is to recommend other people books. And like, look how proud she is of her grandson. So it's just so sweet, and it's like a lovely little, like, there's little libraries like all over the place, which I'll talk about in a little bit too. But it's like making your own little one of seeing that like this is something that we love to do and what we would love to share, and them building it up together. And then last one I want to talk about, this is the Horseback Librarian. So this is actually nonfiction. So in the 1930s, in the backwoods of Kentucky, there were no libraries. It was very remote. People lived miles and miles and miles away from each other. So how did they get books? Well, librarians on horseback would ride for days, sleeping in barns or under the stars, just to deliver books to people. And this story goes across the entirety of it, from her camping to meeting with different families and showing different books, and like, I know that you like birds, so I brought you this book, or I brought you that book, and then finding another family and just spending their time together. See, she's sleeping in the barn there too. It's like a wonderful little introduction to this piece of history of people who just saw how important books and reading were, and to provide that to families that normally wouldn't have access to that in any way, and like the lengths that people will do and go for to do that, which I will talk about more later as well.
What a job description. You're like, hey, can you ride a horse? Like, oh, why?
Right?
It's like, well, we need you to actually, this
Yeah.
is part of what you have to do.
Yeah, you're not just like recommending books for people, you're delivering them. It's gonna take you about a month, you know? Like, it's absolutely wild, and like lots of respect for the people who did this. That's just the coolest thing. So yeah, nice little bite-sized piece of history there. All right, what do you got?
Okay, and then I have here next, The Magicians.
Yes, such a pretty cover too.
Yes.
I like the spine of this one.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
like it's all like the illuminated kind of like leafiness to it.
Yeah,
Pretty.
and in this one, so there's actually a faction called the Library.
Ooh, cool.
And I'm trying to, oh god, sorry, I'm trying to figure out like what is book and also what is series, because I've seen both of them so many times. It's a really great series that I truly, truly, truly love.
So I think it's 3 books.
Yes.
I think that's right.
Yes, it's 3 books, and the library is essentially a faction that they believe that they are the ones that are to collect all knowledge.
There's a map. So what is this story about?
It is about a man and his journey to it. Okay, and not no so nice words, because I'm the opposite. I actually think the book is okay, but I love the TV series.
Whereas I've not read the book, but I didn't like the series. I didn't like the TV series.
This man, the world changes around him, and I think he just refuses to change.
That's fair.
But I love the world. This is a
Okay.
book where I can say I'm like, the main character is kind of meh for me, but the world around that is like built, it is beautiful.
This is I'm currently reading another book by this author, and it's The Bright Sword, which we've spoken about before, and it's like King Arthur-ish, except that it's after King Arthur died. So it's about a young knight. He's not even knighted yet. He's just like, I'm going to show up at Camelot and they're going to like me. He's like 17 and just full of hope. And he shows up and they're like, yeah, guess what? King Arthur's dead. He's just, and also so are like everybody else. And all that's left are us 5 losers. And he's just like, what? But the world building is so good. I'm obsessed. So I think this author is incredibly good. This is Lev Grossman, incredibly good at world building.
Yeah.
Which I think is also how they got a TV show.
Yes, because I think it's a good adaptation, as in it doesn't follow the one character,
Right.
Quentin Coldwater.
That's fair. So you're like, the world is cool. I like the story in general. I don't like that character.
No, he just does not grow, and as in the book, it goes for, I think, like from undergrad or graduate school, and then you follow him he'll be in his like late 30s.
Okay.
As the series progresses.
Sure.
And I'm like, you really have not grown at all, have you, my dude?
Oh, that's totally fair. So yeah, this is sort of like the journey to become a magician. From like, there's actually like magic college.
Yes.
And I think there's sort of like it's like the college experience, but it's like Hogwarts college, but more modern-ish, I guess, is kind of the take.
It's set in a modern world, and actually in the way the college setting is, it's like, hey, this is, I think it might be like, it's graduate school.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you're like really, really smart. We think that you'll be able to handle magic.
Right.
And it's very like secret society kind of, because it's always like the best of the best.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't like delete cell phones and DVDs and stuff like, because I literally just saw the word DVD. Whereas like Harry Potter is like magic.
Yeah.
Magic is only magic, and English and math and science don't exist. Like technology is gone.
They cannot coincide together.
Versus like in this case, it's very much like integrated. I think.
There's like in the beginning there's like where magic interferes with technology, so they don't have cell phones, but they do have like phones on campus.
Sure.
But then later on they're like, hey, this new school of like technomancy is opening up.
Yeah.
That like, and he's like, oh, okay, well. Not his area of study. I think his area of study is the mending of minor things.
Okay.
Like pocket watches.
I'm down. I mean, that's basically what I do. So,
well, yeah.
Kids break their backpacks, and I'm like, I'll sew it up. That's pretty fun. And obviously there's going to be drama somewhere in there, because why not? Why wouldn't there be? That's super fun. The whole phones don't work thing is a very Harry Dresden type of a thing. Have you read those?
Yes, I'm up to, I think, book 5.
I finished the first book like last month. So it's like my brother's favorite series. So I'm working on them, but not religiously.
I recommend the audiobook. I think the
audiobooks are fun. Yeah.
A lot quicker.
Because it's the guy who played Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Is he? Oh, I did not realize.
Yeah.
I listen to audiobooks like at like 1.6 times the speed. So
oh yeah, okay. Same. I mean,
it's not really recognizable who it is.
Yeah, that's true. It's pitched up a bit.
Yeah.
See, that's funny. I think we're ending out like we asked that question eventually of everybody, because we did a couple of audiobook versions of the stream, and like the conversation of listening speed always comes up. I'm between a 1.2 to 1.4, depending. It depends on the narrator.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's go. All right. I've got nonfiction ones, but I've got a bunch of different kinds of stories here. So these are 2 books that are kind of about libraries in general. So this one is Improbable Libraries, and honestly, it's kind of just a photo book of just unusual libraries from all sorts of everything that you can possibly think of, from little libraries to massive ones like this one. Like, that's wild. Just like huge. I think this one's like made. This is the Library of Birmingham, which I was looking at this one earlier. Look at that.
Oh my God,
Look
that's
at
so
that.
beautiful.
I know. Like, that's just like a really cool building. And it's huge, but they also have a exhibition halls, cafes, lounge space, and a 300-seat auditorium sharing with a neighboring theater in this building. And like it just shows like the different ways that people have made libraries, from personal home libraries to like libraries out in communities that, you know, like that's an elephant. It's like this, you know, that sort of thing. So it's like a at a glance kind of overview of libraries and what people will do to ensure that libraries are around and for people. The other one I have, this is The Library Book. This is by Susan Orlean. And this is actually, we have it in our normal, but also in our large type. Big words. So this is a little bit of a true crime. So on April 29th, so we're coming up to it, 1986, there was a catastrophic library fire at the Los Angeles Central Library. And it's like gone. Absolutely gone. It started in one section and it was like, and the whole thing just gone up in flames, literally. It burned for more than 7 hours. It consumed 400,000 books and damaged another 700,000 more. And more than 30 years later, nobody really knows how it happened. It's still a mystery. So this story is written by, she's a legendary journalist, award-winning journalist, and she investigates this fire. But she's also highlighting the crucial roles of the different people who got the library there in the first place. There's the head of the library got that position when she was 18. Wild. There was a man who, like, everything he read, he remembered, and he was just like a human encyclopedia, and he would just wander around blurting out information. You know, like somebody would be like, hey, what do you know about this? And you're sitting there for 10 minutes. Like, he would just go.
He is Google.
He was Google, you know, like when you did not have that before, like when it's like, hey, how do I find a nice, succinct answer? It was that guy. And then like a whole bunch of other people who just brought the library to the standing stone that it was in the community, and then how the library, you know, affected the community and the loss of the library in its own way too, and also the rebuilding on it. So it's a cool examination of like a little bit of true crime, a little bit of like the history of not just this library, but like every library. And you know, it's a cool one to look at. It also does scrutinize the man that they have long suspected as having set the fire. So, and that's fun too, you know. I hope it's, you know, like, I hope nobody's lives was ruined in the accusation of that, unless they did it. I also realized, like, it's like, oh, it's my shirt, you know, like, anyway. So if you're into, like, true crime, honestly, this looks a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna see if there's, like, an audiobook of this one, because that's a good one to do. All right, yeah, so that's that one. I can go into more unless you want to talk about that one.
I want to talk about a book that we unfortunately don't have here, but speaking of like libraries and what they give, there's a book called, what was it? It's like Let's Roll, a book about how to bring role-playing games into your library and for schools. And I read that and I'm like, oh, that, you know what? It's so useful about like why you would want to bring role-playing games into your library.
That's
and
cool.
How important it is as it like it brings a sense of like especially for teens, that they can still explore who they are, but like in a safe place where they're like, hey, I'm trying to explore who I am, but I'm doing it in the safety of like another character.
Yeah. And I love that. And that's something that we have experienced as a library ourselves over more years than I want to admit that I'm here for. I lied. I've been here for 10 years. And we've had a wealth of role-playing games throughout the entire thing. Currently, we have like 2 different D&D groups. There's one for teens, D&D and T, Dungeons and Dragons and Teens. And then we've also have Dungeons and Dragons for the adult set too, which is very fun to watch them play. I think they usually do like one-shot little adventures, but it's my favorite thing because we have some little old ladies who are joining, and I absolutely love them. Yeah, they bring me such joy. So it's the bestest. So yeah, the book that you were talking about, yeah, Let's Roll. It's, I think, published by ALA, which is the American Library Association. I'm gonna check really fast if we have it in our library. If you look also in our chat, we've got the link to our catalog, so you can always search up things for yourself, and then just like enjoy things that way, which is also very, very fun. I don't know. That's a really good one. I've not read that one. Actually, I think I have it, but I've not read it yet. So it's available through Swan. So there's a couple of libraries who do have it. Oh, one that does have it that will probably send it out. Somebody else has it, but it's in their reference, and libraries are notorious for not sending out their reference ones. So if that is a book that you're interested in finding, I'll plop the link to it at least into our YouTube video. But that one is a great one to, like, you can put it on hold and it'll come from a different library, and then you can enjoy it that way.
And I like that it gives you a recommendation, like, hey, if it's like this age level, we recommend these ones.
Yeah.
If it's this, and also like if you want to talk to your supervisor and be like, hey, this is like the proposed budget for this, and this is why we need it, and it has like various examples of like this librarian, like I think from Schaumburg, and how like the email to like propose and the budget and all that.
Nice.
Just so then it's like, hey, this is how to market the importance of this program.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't ask. I just did it. That's kind of how we roll. But if you are, you don't even have to be a librarian to propose these things. If it's something that you want out of your library, go to your library and ask for it. If libraries know that there is a need for something or a desire for something, if people will show up for something, we're gonna do it. Let us make a club for you. So yeah. All right, let me do these two. They're also on a different theme. So these are nonfiction books about books. This one is the biggest, nerdiest thing ever. I love this so much. If you look, there's like little informations and like details about like, here's the title. That's a quote. This is called a verso on here. So like, yeah, and it's throughout the entire thing. Did you know that little sign, that little thing is called a dingbat? Because it's right there. So this is a history of books as books. So it goes like the first part is about paper and how paper was developed historically. And then writing. Just writing, writing systems and how that was developed historically, then illuminated texts, and then on and on and on, and just how books came to be how books are. And they're it's published in a way too where it's like very fancy, because it's absolutely a nerdy love letter to books in general. It also has like full illustration or pictures of illustrations and such, and I personally own this book because how could I not? My friend showed it to me and I'm like, hi, purchased. It's just way too nerdy and way too cool. So this is a cover-to-cover exploration of the most powerful object of our time, which I would agree. So that one's very fun. And then this one, Dark Archives. This is a librarian's investigation into the science and history of books bound in human skin.
Well, I know what my next read is going to be.
That's right. Which those books are referred to as anthropodermic.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the history of how did one come to bind books in human skin and what has happened to them since. But also, there is a whole bunch of books out there in libraries and in collections that are suspected to be bound in human skin. And this also goes through, I think this person was also part of the process of figuring out and testing those books to see if they were indeed, if that's human skin or cow hide or what have you. So, yep, that's a good one. Here you go. It looks fun, doesn't it?
Definitely cannot wait to read this.
I know, right? And it's fairly short. That's kind of what's fun about like nonfiction, is that a good portion of them is like the index or notes and little things. So like with this book, this much of it is just historical notations that you can absolutely skip over and such. It's just there for like helping with research and stuff. That one I think's got a fairly hefty research portion of it on the end there too. So you got some sneaky little tricksies. All right, fun one that one is. All right, what you got?
And my last book here is The Starless Sea.
Pretty book too. You just picked the prettiest covers.
Now this one I read a few years ago, so I'm a little bit more hazy on what happened, and it doesn't help also the fact that this is actually written like a dream. This is very like almost was it Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere?
Okay, all right.
I like the prose. It's just that sometimes when you're reading in an audiobook at a certain speed, you can get lost in it. So it's definitely one that you might need to lower the speed on. But
some books require that sort of thing, yeah.
But it's a secret society of people who likes books, and it's like an underground library.
Cool.
And you can only go through these magical doors that open up for you, and it could be I think one example of a magical door was just an outline of a door in chalk.
Ooh, okay.
And so very fleeting doors.
Yeah.
Some of them, but I would really recommend. It's like, I think it's also like there's like a gay love story.
Okay. Very fun those are.
And it's honestly quite well. I would 100% recommend. It's about these group of people that are trying to find the Starless Sea, like the harbor, as it were, inside of the this underground library.
Cool.
And they're also trying to hide a book. I forgot what. I think it's like the Book of Sorrows or something.
Okay.
From another group who wants to, I think, destroy the underground library.
Sure. I mean, that's Gans, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a little bit of book rescuing. So this kind of reminds me a little bit of like City of Ember, like an underground, like hidden away type of a thing. But there's also some like looming dangers on here. So this is shelved in fiction. But it also feels like it's got a little bit of a sci-fi thing to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's really fun. Yeah, labyrinthine collection of tunnels and rooms filled with stories. Let's go. Yeah, sanctuary often hidden, sometimes on forest floors and sometimes in private homes. That's really neat. I love it.
Yeah, it's very whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like whimsy, I would highly recommend it. If you want your books to be more structured, then maybe give this one a pass.
I mean, that's an important thing to know. You know, you're allowed to enjoy the kinds of stories that you enjoy. And likewise, we are allowed to enjoy whimsy. That's really neat. And this is, I think, a standalone?
Yes, it's a standalone.
Okay. So, yeah, if you're not somebody who wants to go for a series, or you're just like, I just need a nice set done. It is a bit of a chonker, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds like a very good chonker. So that actually, I'm kind of glad that you brought this one in, because so they're trying to rescue some books as well. That is where my last two books go into, actually, and these are nonfiction as well, so these are true stories. So there is The Book Thieves. This is the Nazi looting of Europe's libraries and the race to return a literary inheritance. So there's Das Buchs. So this is during World War II, when the Nazis were going throughout Europe. They were famously also having stolen a bunch of art and cultural documents and everything else. There's the story of the Monument Men. Are you familiar with that one?
No.
Great movie.
Okay.
There's a book, there's a movie, there's many historical records. It's a group of men who came together with the goal of rescuing, really is the word, rescuing all of these works of art and cultural pieces that were just stolen away. A lot of the times they were just hoarded away into bunkers, but there was the worry of them being destroyed or damaged or things like that. Turns out that the art was not the only thing that was taken, but books often were as well. Books that were from specific communities, so libraries of Jews, leftists, Freemasons, and other opposition groups, were appropriated for Nazi research and used as intellectual weapons against their owners. So it was a whole strategy. So after the war, actually some of the Monument Men themselves, this is kind of pulled together from a lot of their records, they took on the task of returning those items to their homes. However, the problem is that there's a lot of the books in particular kind of just got left and were kind of picked up and put into various library collections. A lot of those books are still there today, but there was a big movement to get those books back home. To where they belong. So that goes through the history of all of that, the story of getting these books to return. How do you figure that out? Which each one is its own puzzle itself. And also the author themselves goes and delivers one of the books to its original home and to the family that originally owned the book itself. And talks about like why that book in particular was so very important to that particular family. So it's a very compelling story, I think, and it's got sort of like how far will you go type of detail, but not just in like the moment of crisis, but way after when the impacts are still present. Even though it feels like everyone else has moved on, there's still some lingering remnants where it's just like not quite done yet. So that one's really good. Again, that's Book Thieves. And then finally, I might have saved this one for last because the title is the bestest, The Badass Librarians of Timbuktu. And this is their race to save the world's most precious manuscripts. So this, honestly, it's kind of just works if I just read this part. So in the 1980s, a young adventurer and collector for a government library, Abdel Kader Haidara, journeyed across the Sahara, so a desert, and along the Niger River, tracking down and salvaging tens of thousands of ancient Islamic and secular manuscripts that were crumbling in the trunks of desert farmers. His goal was to preserve the crucial part of the world's patrimony in a gorgeous library. So already a huge undertaking. And then the Al-Qaeda showed up. And their goal was to destroy all of that. Except that Haidara, who is normally a very mild-mannered archivist, and he's just a historian who lives in Timbuktu, he then transformed himself into the world's greatest and most brazen smuggler by saving the texts from sure destruction. So with bravery and patience, he organized a dangerous operation to sneak all 350,000 volumes out of the city and to the safety of southern Mali. So this is a real-life thriller, and it is just absolutely wild. This is just a normal dude who just, did a bunch of work to collect all these things. It's like his life's work, and then his life's work was to further on do what he could to protect it under the dangers of if he's caught, he's dead. And all of those things are gone. Like, the stakes could not be more high. And he's just a regular guy who decided to do something. So props to this guy, honestly. Saved a lot, because I think Timbuktu is, there's people who are still horrendously upset that the Library of Alexandria was burned.
Yeah.
This would be kind of a kin in his eyes. And he's like, it's not happening again. I won't
not under
let
his
it.
watch.
Not on my watch. So if you're up into some like very cool people who are going to go way far and away to make sure that things happen, and it actually happened, those are books for you. I've seen this book has come up on, like, in my view, many a time. So I think it is very well loved. And yeah, that's basically all of these. I'm going to be looking for like audiobooks, because I like nonfiction for audiobooks. Well, I like audiobooks anyway. But I like doing nonfiction every so often, because then it feels like I'm just listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
And that's kind of nice. So, yeah. I know that one of the books that you were talking about that you wanted to pull, might be checked out, was The Ascendance of a Librarian.
Yes, The Ascendance of a Bookworm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ascendance of a Bookworm.
Yeah.
Which in like Spanish translates to like the ascendance of a book mouse. It's like libro ratón or something like that. I only know this because during summer, this past summer, that was one of our titles that we selected for our summer reading.
Yeah, it was.
And we had it available in both English and Spanish. But do you want to talk about it?
So it's about, it's an reincarnation isekai, which means like from another world, in which a person from this reality either dies and gets reincarnated into another world, or just somehow gets transported there.
Right. Sometimes they just get yoinked. Yeah. In this case, it was like a 30-year-old woman who just like loved books and got crushed by the piles of books that fell over on top of her. It's not a spoiler. It happens on literally the first page, and then it's like, all right, that's done. Anyway.
But now she loves books, but then she lives in a place where it's like, hey, books are kind of like rare. They're like for like people who have money, and they're like, oh, how do I get money then? Because I want books, and I specifically want to make a library for the people.
Yeah, but everyone's like, what's reading?
What's reading? You want to give expensive people to expensive books to who?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, wait, sorry, what's a book? Huh? What's reading? What?
How do you know about books in the first place?
And she's like, I'll make my own book. And they're like, what's writing? And also, what's this paper that you're talking about? And she's just like, it's pretty great. And then she's like in the body of like this 5-year-old little girl who's kind of sickly. And what I liked about it is that like every single time there was like a new challenge. She's like, I know why I'm sick all the time. I'm filthy. I've not had a bath this body's entire life. Like, that's why I'm sick all the time. I need soap. And people are like, what's that? She's like, no. But she's like, I know how to make soap. I read about it. Like, she's got like all this knowledge that nobody should have, but it's because she read books when she was like in our world.
It's like that one guy who's Google.
Oh yeah, the Google guy.
If he gets isekai into another world, he's sad.
This one, if he gets isekai.
Not me. I read so much, but so little.
Retain very little details, or like you're just like, I have read many things and nothing is useful. That's why you got to read like My Side of the Mountain and stuff like that. Which that was My Side of the Mountain, and like Little House on the Prairie taught me strangely some survival skills. Like, I at least understand the cheese processing here, like kind of from those books. But yeah, those are fun. I enjoy those. All right, yeah. So if you are interested in finding any of the books that we talked about, I'm popping the link into the chat right now. We kind of put them all into one big list that you can find on our catalog, and you can see what's available or what's not. Yeah. Enjoy that. But as it is, Happy National Library Week. We're glad that you joined us. Hopefully you heard something that sounds really fun to you. I know we found something that sounds really fun. I know, right?
Can't wait.
I showed that to Liz too, so you might have to fight.
Well, I'll see, because I have. So I binge read, as in like I will get like 6 books, and I'll digest it.
Yeah,
I'll start digesting them. So
oh, you're like a multi-reader?
No, but I am a multi-checker out, and then I'll just start like reading one book, and then I'll read another book and another book. But then it's hard because I'm like, oh, I want to put this in my to check it out, but I'm like, well, I already have like 5 other books.
Yeah,
shouldn't.
I know. It's a tricky game. It's kind of the same issue of like when you put a bunch of things on hold and every single thing's like, you're 20,000th in line, and you're like, great, this will be good, and then somebody else will be like, you're second in line. I'm like, all right, that'll be like in no time, and then everything comes all at one time. You just feel so betrayed. Like the system betrayed you, and now it loved you too much. There's an issue now. Yeah, it's happened to the best of us.
Yeah.
Like you just can't get away from it. Yeah, I guess that's how we're gonna go with it. Hey. So yeah, stop by the Addison Public Library to grab your giveaways.
Yeah.
You might see this guy.
Get a hat.
Yeah, get a hat. Well, you know, it's limited, so while supplies last, I do think they're going to grab a couple of them and take them to, like, some outreach events. So if you miss out, you might want to find out where those are, because I don't know off the top of my head. But, you know, grab a hat. It's a pretty good hat, admittedly so. So, yeah. All right, we'll see you around. Happy National Library Week, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.